কেমন লাগলো ভাই?
That was very good. Like, all right, take it away. Let's start. Let's
All
start.
right, let's start. To be honest, yes, welcome Nadim bhai. This is my first show, first episode, and first live podcast. So, idea is we are going to talk about random stuff, but obviously relevant to our job, to our experience, to our life, to our anything and everything. And now, specifically, I'd like to welcome officially in my first show, Random Rants with Tousif, and I'm Tousif. Come on, boy. The language is English, Bangla, Urdu, Arabic, anything, no, nothing, and everything. That's the thing, best thing about this podcast and my ideas. So here, uh, so we're live. I hope everything is working. And please, now, uh, how are you? Asen Kemon?
The Dobradan, Tousif in Slovenia. Dobradan,
Dodan?
right? So it's nice to talk to you again, and especially from Slovenia. I guess my link with Slovenia is, or Yugoslavia at that time, is a lot of friends growing up. So if they're going to watch it, Goran, Nenad, the whole bunch, a lot of friends in Yugoslavia, former Yugoslavia, Slovenia, Croatia, and all of them. So in the whole region, I'm going to say hi to my friends. And I was a very good fan of Partizan Belgrade, so soccer team at that time growing up. So yeah, thanks Tosi for having me in the first one. Good pals again. Nice to see you, and I'm so glad that you're in Slovenia. I'd love to come and visit you and meet my old friends over there as well. So saying all that, hi, take it away.
Yes, bhai. Please. I'm telling you for the last 2 years. Ticket কাটেন চলে আসেন বেশি দূর না কিন্তু
No, absolutely.
জি জি এখন so I'll give you some ideas about the show I'm trying to develop. So the idea is we are going to develop talked about some interesting topics. No pre-plan, no pre-questions. Obviously, it's as an engineer, I'm an engineer, you are an engineer. Probably our interest is common is engineer and education. So how about we start with like education and then move to engineering and project. So, because you are a professor and I'm an ex-lecturer, not anymore, technically, but yeah, my question to you in the first question probably is I'm going to hit you hard about the engineering education and the type of graduate we are developing. Are we thinking about our country's requirement, our country's demand, or we are just like teaching them with general ideas? Because one thing we have to understand, because our country is developing, we are investing a lot of money, a lot of no, the whole government is trying to build the country in a different way, put the bridge, metro rail, and everything. So, but if you notice the tendency, a lot of project is done by foreign engineers. All the leaders in a particular project are coming from China, Japan, Thailand, blah blah blah. These are countries, but even those of us, our engineers, our graduates are working in a very mid and low level. So, what's your opinion on that? Amader graduate
The main problem is obviously we are dependent on external financing of the projects.
Yes.
So they a lot of times dictate whom you're going to hire in those positions. So you're preparing the contracts, right? So that in itself is a problem. What's happening, and in terms of how do you link that with the education? Yeah, what the jobs they're getting are very lowbrow, right? Very lowbrow projects. Okay, the R&D, forget R&D. The design and everything is done by abroad because they're financing it, and then they're implementing it over here. So. Yeah, it's a bad way of doing it. What I see a change, sadly, it's probably a consequence of globalization. When I first came back in 1986 to Bangladesh to work from the States after doing my engineering there. I joined British Oxygen or Bangladesh Oxygen at that time. The CEO was Bangladeshi, all right? All the engineers were Bangladeshi. The technology was developed in imported technology, very old, but then refabbed in Bangladesh or refabbed with our own engineering, right? And then applied. Now the same company, because of globalization, the CEO is from India. All the designs are done in India, and then they're bought over, and just implementing is done here. Now, the reason for that is they all look for the Western globalization technique. They look for, okay, they're not looking at Bangladesh as Bangladesh. They're looking at, oh, sub-regional or regional, right? So that is a consequence of globalization, which is happening. In terms of education, linking it with that, same thing. We're going for accreditation and all that. You're not going to get Abbott. So they did a quasi-Abbott or Washington Accord or whatever. So then they take a pseudo program, which they sort of pseudoly understand, and then they apply it. So they're applying a Western concept, bringing it over for engineering without having done the degree there. So that's their interpretation. They also went for grad school, which is a very protected environment, right? They haven't really interacted, right? And they haven't really worked there. Then they come back. Some of them will have a degree from Japan or somewhere else, and then implementing an American curriculum here. Okay. So it doesn't really follow through. Forget even the need for what is necessary, right? So what is also frustrating, what's my observation, where it is really lacking more than engineering is the very basic fundamentals, which is reading and writing. So if you don't know how to read and write, right?
Yes.
How do you get employed? How do you understand? Then you just memorize, it's a road memorization. Okay?
That's the problem, right? Because our observation, again, it's my observation, because we have kind of a lot of universities, right? A lot of universities, and let's talk about our subjects, civil engineering and environmental engineering. Let's focus on this. So even in the curriculum and everything, we try to copy, we try to get inspiration from the BUET, right? Because BUET is the sacred body of engineering education in our country. But if we copy BUET, and if you try to implement BUET in every other universities, then what's the difference? Okay, probably we can talk about the BUET quality and the blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go there about the quality on that type, but I'm trying to creating product. Okay, if you think about the graduates as a product, right? If we creating product in a same factory, it's coming out like same way. But if not so, in my past employer and your current employer, I hope they understand what I'm trying to say here is like, why can't we create a different type of curriculum so that it's modern, number one, it's futuristic, and the graduates can go and start journey from because in a different way, not everyone has to be a civil engineer, basic civil engineer, right? We can create some specialized topics, specialized subject, not go for like, oh, we are learning this system from like past 100 years, so you have to learn this way. Why this mentality?
Well, first of all, it's a bit, the whole problem, the accreditation process and the whole Washington Accord thing is to modernize that and follow more to be in line with ABET or CABET or whatever in North America.
Yes.
So that part they're trying to do, but it's a question of how you interpret it. Okay. So if it is being interpreted by the same folks, right, which does not really have the understanding of the other process, then it becomes a problem. Yeah. And also understand the limitations of what you have in terms of what you can do, right? If you're trying to copy a North American program, do you have the facilities to support it? Or how many of the institutions have it? I mean, the first thing, one of the things I do is when I start my courses here, I show, especially is the movie Three Idiots.
Yes.
Right. And that created a stir in India about the Indian education. Right. So, and I show that the reason for that is precisely that. Why complicate things? So what's the point of having a really good accounting chalk off what courses you're taking, what you're following, this, that. But in essence, do you understand it? That was the whole point. What is a machine? Right. Do you link with that? Then can you use that? Does it fit what you require?
Then what's
or
our
do you even
vision?
encourage that debate? I don't think there is. We can put our missions and visions and all that. These are buzzwords. But do you really understand what is necessary? What is necessary?
My point is, are we creating graduates for foreign countries, or are we creating graduates for Bangladesh? Because, you know, I know your research and everything. You try to do real problem, real research, which related to the real issues in the countries, right? But আপনার কি মনে হয়?
Well, that has a problem because I'm looked down upon.
That's
what they want is Scopius. What they want is Scopius Index Journal. But I'm not going to do it now. I've done it in my earlier career. I worked for Central National Lab. I worked for, top research institutions even in Canada. Environment Canada, main centers, and all that. But the point isn't that. My point is to solve the problems. The same agenda came up in the States and they changed. Their problems solving is what they need for the country, and their journals will support that. But if I judge my value based on American journal, right? So my topic of research is going to be what is respected over there. It might not have anything to do with the solving the problems of my country. So why does it matter where I publish, how many publications I have? It should rather be what is the value of my work in terms of changing the society where I live in. Now, I'll give you an example, the difference in India. Remember when we went to Jharkhand, me and you?
Yes.
Right? When we were presenting in the All India Conference? You know how much appreciation I got because of my work and your work together?
Yes.
And what did they say over there? They said that Modi ji said, solve the problem of India now. Research is not for paper. It's for solving the problem of India.
It's real
the
problem.
90% of the people, 90% of people who are below the poverty line, or the marginal poverty line, or they're struggling. Can we solve their problem? Right? Now, that's the whole thing, but that is not encouraged. It's all Scopius Index. It's all, I have so many publications. I have this. Not that I don't have, but the point is you do not wear it in your chest. It's not like an ornament. But the basic point, what I really impressed me on India was what researches they were doing, okay? And how they appreciate our simple work. And also some basic fundamentals. The diction, the accent might be bad, but the English diction was really good.
Right.
Okay? The fundamentals of their understanding was really good. Remember how many people knew me from before there?
Yeah.
Remember they were saying, Dr. Nadim, I met you in there. Dr. Nadim, I met you there.
Yes, definitely.
That would never happen. That would never happen here. I get more kudos with Indian universities than I will get anything in Bangladesh. Okay? Because I'm from a private university, not South. But fair enough. But my point is, even in the context of where we are, when do you value your productivity of how will even your graduates value what is needed in the country if you tell them, no, we're trying to do this, all right? No, your judgment is, look what I have, all right, rather than look what I'm doing, okay? What ornaments I'm wearing, okay? But what I see, what's the use of having English 101, 102, 103, 104, 105? If a girl or a boy cannot write a paragraph, okay? I'm dyslexic, right? My spelling mistake will be there. My grammar will be there. At least I know the context of writing or reading. Now, if you take that away and make it only spoon feeding, right? What can you do? So it becomes that narrow, right? And it's defined that way. My point is like, come on, let's promote even reading. How many libraries are there? Okay, do they see a paperback book? All right.
We don't read that much in my country. That's the thing, right?
So then, anywhere. But my point is that if you're not concentrating in the basics, right? How are you going to think? Remember in the Jharkhand conference, then when the guy said that free electrons produce, bound electrons don't.
Yeah,
Are you there?
Yes.
Tousif, are you there?
Yes, ভাই আপনার নেটওয়ার্ক কি ঠিক আছে? একটু মনে প্রবলেম হচ্ছে না?
That's okay. I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes,
so
yes.
My point is that like I think we are going away from the fundamentals as well. Okay, and a bit more laissez-faire, teaching the fundamentals a bit more laissez-faire rather than structure allows you to solve the problems of the what is needed. That's my rant.
Yes. Okay. So I'll give you one more problem, because if you see in last 10-15 years, right, billions of dollars were invested in our country in infrastructure development, right? Billions and billions of dollars, mega projects like Padma Bridge, Metro Rail, tunnel, Kornofuli Tunnel, big port, deep sea port, and everything. But if you notice each and every project, it's not successful in terms of budget, in terms of money, in terms of efficiency. Because let's talk about Metro Rail. I have a past with Metro Rail. I work in the Metro Rail project, so it's some close to my heart as well. When I started the Metro Rail project, the original plan was it will go on full operation, not half, not quarter, full operation, and around 2022 or 2020, if I remember correctly. But today is 2022. In March, it's still not fully complete. And the original budget was like, I think, some $1 billion. Now it's more than twice or thrice. And they are now planning. Recently I saw a report. They made a disasters planning of the stations. There is a plan for station, but there is no access to the roads and everything. So this is a madness. This is a chaos. My question to you, এই যে আমাদের ওয়াশিংটন অ্যাকর্ড, এই যে আমরা এত বড় বড় কথা বলি, এই যে আমাদের ক্লাস এন্ড রিসার্চ এন্ড ব্লা ব্লা ব্লা, আমাদের দেশ নিয়ে কয়টা রিসার্চ পেপার আমরা কাজ করতেছি, বা হাউ মেনি রিসার্চ আর গোয়িং অন টু সলভ দিস কাইন্ড অফ প্রবলেম সো দ্যাট দ্য নেক্সট মেট্রো রেল ইজ
good.
Hello?
Dude, you're breaking up a bit. You're breaking up.
Okay. My side or your side, the problem?
Now I can hear you.
It's okay?
But it's okay. I sort of got the gist of it. I can hear you completely now. I can hear the gist of it, right? You probably understand more, and you being a project management side, like why the cost overheads were. What was the reasons for it? I don't know. My point is, like, do we need these mega projects, or do we have to even think that how does that fit into the whole overall perspective? Do I need the mega projects? Okay,
that's number one. Because
I mean, I'm more of an appropriate technology person, small technology person, but I always think, like, do I need these mega projects? But you being a civil engineer, you might want those mega projects. No. That's more exciting. But
do we need or not? Probably it's a political questions, right? But it's still going on. It's
no,
not like
it's a necessity of society, what it needs. No,
sometimes
as engineers or anybody.
Yes, because in our case, in our country, it's most of a political thing. 50% and 50%, I guess. Because if you ask me how to save, Dhaka is a dead city now, right? Dhaka is. I love Dhaka, but the movement of Dhaka is like 5 kilometer per hour or 2 kilometer per hour, something like this. But this is, in any way, you cannot live like this. And if somebody asks me how to save Dhaka, I'll stop every freaking construction going on in Dhaka for the next 5 years. Stop it right now, because everything is becoming a chaos, and no one knows what to do, how to do. But this is separate question. My question to you is, আমাদের university, north south, buet, ruet, kuet, chuet, everything, did you see any research project going on those particular project, infrastructural project, that look, Metro Rail has lots of problem, Padma Bridge has lots of problems, and let's do research on this so that the next Padma Bridge is okay, next Metro Rail doesn't face those kind of problem? Do you think, is there any research going on this sector?
Well, before you can even do the research or talk about it, it has to be a transparent process, right? So has it been the due diligence done in an open forum where you can discuss it, right? So unfortunately, it's not the portion of Bangladesh. Most developing countries or more developing economies, agenda is set, but the bureaucrats, the technocrats, and all that, it's not an open process where participatory process where everybody can jump in. You're not going to a town hall and discussing. So if it's not open, transparent, then how are you going to start even doing research, what is needed or what's not needed, right? So it's always, it's a pretty paternal system. No, I mean, from the beginning to the end, right? The moment you're born, father tells you and you follow. Mother tells you and you follow. If you question, they beat you.
That's the problem.
So if it's always a paternal system, so if you cannot question, you cannot think, you cannot say, okay, do I need it? All right. Then how do you expect your academic community to link up with that? Okay. So that's the problem. Okay. So, I mean, if you go to any society which allows you to speak up, allows you to think, right, an open electron transfer environment, then your position is that, okay, you can debate, you can think about it, right? So let's take any institution, all right? If I have to swipe in and swipe out with a card, if I have to swipe into the class and then Big Brother is watching, right? It's not going to happen, right? The same thing with these projects. If it is not, if you're not open, transparent, and how do you expect there would be a link between the research community or academic community and comes first? So which one do you solve, right? So it is a societal problem as well. I mean, it's not even, you also have to give value to what? Okay. A value of an engineer is, okay, I have a government job, okay? I want to do my BCS after a government job. If I have a government job, then I can get married. If I have a good job, I'll get married. Okay, BCS cadre first, then other people.
I have an observation about this BCS job. It's my point of view, and I take full responsibility. Once you pass the BCS job as an engineer, you forgot everything you learn as an engineer.
Yeah, but that is the job you want. Like even in India, I want to be ICS officer, right?
Yeah, but
so unfortunately, how many of us actually study it for the passion? Number one. Number two is, how much respect do you get it as a society? All right. If I'm an honest engineer with no money in my pocket, right, and I'm as a field engineer, how many people will respect me? How many people will give their daughters to get married to me? All right. No.
That's another question.
Society has been built that way. No. I mean, this is what everything is tied on. So if I tell you to work on a research and appropriate technology, say I'm working on gobar gas, how to make biogas from shit, all right, then how will it be respected? Wouldn't it be better if I come up and so I'm using molecular dynamics of some sort to be publishing in a Springer journal, which is Scopius indexed, the respect, and then I can show it, email it to my colleagues and say, look where I've published. Okay.
And the funny thing is, in our country, can you name one journal that is respected worldwide in our whole
Bangladesh?
In Bangladesh,
I can't because my institutions have told me that do not publish here, you have to publish abroad. I do publish. I publish in.
না আমার কোশ্চেন তো ওইটাই যে আমার দেশের we don't have quality journal in our country, number one. And then
how are you gonna produce a quality journal if you don't put in your publications there?
Now the second question is like, we want our researcher to publish in a Scopus Index foreign journal, which has like, you know, international journal. But একটা ইন্টারন্যাশনাল জার্নাল বাংলাদেশের লোকাল প্রবলেম নিয়ে কেন ইন্টারেস্ট হবে, ওইটা তো একটা কোশ্চেন।
They won't be interested, obviously. So then you're a poor country is spending all their money and resources to help another country grow.
That's a fact, right? Because আমার একজন ইউএস বেসড জার্নাল, আমি যদি একটা গ্লোবাল প্রবলেম সলভ করতে পারি, then they will be interested in my research. They don't give a shit about my country's problem.
Tousif, when we went to that All India conference, all right?
Yes.
There was only one PhD from not India. There were IIT professors there, but there was only one PhD not from India. That was me. Other than that, even IIT professors, IIT Roorkee was there, all right? IIT Kharagpur was there, IIT Kanpur was there. There was this professor who was advisor to the government, a couple of them. One of them was most cited paper of the year by certain journals.
I remember. He's the
all of them guy. Indian graduates from IIT India. From IIT journal, their own IIT boys.
IIT boys, and they're working with their problem. They have their we know, because even in our country we see Indian journals are bad, you know, we have some weird prejudice, but they have really good journals.
That's also silly, because I mean, why can't I have a regional journal which will no, absolutely. I'm probably having some problem in your audio, but carry on. I mean, carry on in your thought, so I can back it from here, if you can hear me.
Yes, I think we had some issues with the network. I'm not sure it's my side or from other side, but I'll try to change the network for a bit. Probably now it's all right, or
no, it's okay. I can hear you. You're gone now. I can't hear you.
Nadim bhai, এখন কি শোনা যাচ্ছে?
I can hear you now clearly.
Okay, I think I changed the network. So যেটা বলতেছিলাম যে we want to publish in a Scopus Index journal. We want to be on like highest index journal, but we don't have anything right now. We don't have, in my country doesn't have a good journal, number one. So আমার কোশ্চেন হচ্ছে, আমরা এই জিনিসটাকে ব্যালেন্স করার, মানে আমরা চাচ্ছি আমরা বিদেশে পাবলিশ করব, বাট আমার দেশের প্রবলেম নিয়ে আমাদের মাথা ব্যথা নাই। আমরা তাহলে বানাইতেছি কি আমাদের গ্রাজুয়েটদের যে বিদেশের প্রবলেম নিয়ে এসে মাথা ব্যথা করবে, দেশের প্রবলেম
exactly. When they do the curriculum, they want all in whatever. But the point is that where you value that, right?
You know,
the value chain.
You know, funny thing. A few months ago, I got a message from a company. I think they are involved in some airport or some port in Bangladesh, right? Because they found me via LinkedIn and something, because I'm, my recent work is based on digital engineering, BIM and modeling and stuff. So they were asking, they were thinking of developing the BIM and digital engineering for this project, but they couldn't find a single person in Dhaka. Basically, they're based in Dhaka. They can do this kind of stuff. So look, what happened? They outsource every project to India. Now the Indians are doing it. So we can't even have, I don't think, I think in Kuwait they teach BIM. They teach BIM in Kuwait. I know a person there, so okay. But I don't think in Kuwait, not even in North South, they don't teach about BIM. They don't teach about digital engineering, digital construction. The world is by moving in a different speed, because now is everything in 3D, VR. You can design the whole project in computer, and then digital twin and everything. But we don't have those concept in my country, right? আপনিও যে বলতে পারবেন যে এইসব কনসেপ্ট নিয়ে কোনো মাথা ব্যথা নাই আমাদের, না আছে ম্যান পাওয়ার, বাট আমরা সবাই ইঞ্জিনিয়ার, বাট আমাদের চিন্তা নাই যে হোয়াটস গোয়িং টু হ্যাপেন ইন দ্য নেক্সট 10 years and 20 years। কোনো ভিশন নাই, কোনো ইচ্ছা নাই, ভিশন বাদ দেই, ইচ্ছা নাই আমাদের যে আচ্ছা আফটার 10-15 years এই যে জাপানিজ বা চাইনিজদের বাদ দিয়ে আমরা একটা প্রজেক্ট করি। আমাদের কি কোয়ালিটির অভাব আছে?
No, the problem, like I said, one again, I would argue with that do I need that digitalization right away, and what point and what not? But you'll have to let people, like the company is not finding this outsourced to the Indian. They could have already tagged, they could have, say, approached a professor in North South, tag them with each other, right? And say, okay, you get the contract, but you have to train within that much time and have so many Bangladeshi staffs trained with it to work functionally, parallelly. I'll give you an example. In 1998, I from Canada, I went to Reliance Hazira to start the first petrochemical textile wastewater treatment plant, which I designed in Canada. All right. So I went there in Hazira to start it up. Okay. Now, when I entered, and at general manager's office, it wasn't a big office, it was a trailer with a broken down chair and everything. It was a Sadarji. And the Sadarji said, I don't consider you as a non-Indian. I consider you as an Indian. And there's 5 young kids over here. They will follow you from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. And you being I'm considering you as an Indian, you teach them everything you know. Now, can you say the same thing and push our people? Okay. Now, why didn't they hire you and say, okay, come over for 2 months, train up your team here, and let's roll? Or vis-a-vis, all right?
Nah. এটাই তো সমস্যা। ধরুন একটা ফরেন কোম্পানি যখন আসবে, everybody thinks about money, right? Nobody wants to invest, because they come, they do for project 6 months, 10 months.
Put a stipulation. Put a stipulation. Right? Put a stipulation. Do it. All right? Give the free. If you're making it everything into bean counter accounting. Oh, did you take 102, 103, 104? Oh, this is, are you following the guidelines set by the accreditation committee? Okay. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? I can count the beans and end up teaching jack shit, or learning jack shit, or producing jack shit. All right. Or I can give the flexibility of a young faculty who just came back from America and knows all this. The flexibility to adjust the program, or even in his class, to make sure that that gets conveyed, or develop his own skill, all right? Or go abroad to learn that skill and come back. Oh, this is needed. But you have to give that to happen. You have to value that. Now, that is not valued, right? We don't give respect to that. Okay, forget all that. You don't respect the engineer who gets his hands dirty. Okay.
It's a funny thing না, আমরা সেম থিং হোয়াইট পিপল যদি এসব বলে বা ফরেন পিপল এসব বলে আমরা সেম থিং শুনি, কিন্তু লোকাল ইঞ্জিনিয়ার যদি সেম কথা বলে আমরা কানে নেই না।
No, that's fine. The first time I landed in Mumbai airport, that time it was beat up, shot, and then the Reliance came to pick me up, and the first thing the guy said was, "Oh, you're not white. I wish they sent a white person." All right, but that's fine. I mean, I've always worked against the grain all my life, even now. The thing is, the hands-on engineering skill is missing. Forget all the digitalization. None of the ETPs are really working. They all say it's working, and even the data fits, but they're not really working. Whether you go to Bebza, whether you go to the small ETPs, everywhere I go, and they know everything, all right? And I act like a fool. But I was a hands-on engineer. Sorry, I spent most of my life being a hands-on dirty engineer, okay? But that is not valued. That is not valued. You think a textile industry, right? They're polluting the water, they're doing the treatment plant, they spend so much money in designing this treatment plant. Will they hire one graduate engineer to be in the ETP? No. Also, the same graduate engineer, they'll say, oh, I'm not getting a job in Dhaka. Sir, get me a job. Oh, you can't pick up the phone and get me a job. Why aren't you getting me a job? All right? And if I tell you, okay, I can get you into your job, especially the girls, I can get you a job in Gazipur. Will you go? No. I can get you a job in Savar. Will you go? No. I want a job in Dhaka, in Gulshan 2, Gulshan 1, in an air-conditioned room, an air-conditioned building. I want to be an engineer. And I want to use ETABS to do, or StatPro, to do structural analysis. Now, one time they were hiring, hold it. One time they were in Manasa, they were hiring, in my department, they were hiring teaching assistants, and they all had the brilliant GPAs. Okay? Yes. So all of them came up, and every time they were asking the question, what do you want to do? They say, oh, I want to use ETABS to do structural analysis. So I heard it once and twice, and I said, I'm not a structural engineer, I'm not a Okay, I was out for a second, sorry. Everything went out. So my point is that, and then I asked him a simple question, a 3.9 GPA. What does ETAB stand for? What does ETAB stand for? I couldn't answer the question. None of them could. That's the problem. Okay, so it's just fascinating that the word brilliant gets thrown out like anything. All right, or the word, oh, he's a genius. Oh, this. Oh, every mother's dream is that their son and daughter will have a PhD, whether you need it or not, and then they become a big professor abroad in America. Okay, that. But even a PhD is like a boot camp. You learn afterwards, but you have to have a value, put a value on a dignity of labor, right? If the best value I can give for Bangladesh, to be honest, to go and to each ETP, whether it's government or industry, and work with their operators and run the plant properly and show them what is proper running, and then walk away. So each plan will probably take me 2 months to do, right? Now, if I request that funding, so pay my salary to do that, then it's the best way I'm going to help the country. Will anybody come forward? No. Will I be respected? No. What they want? Publication. And when I walk in to my university or whatever, I'll bump into a professor and they'll say, Nadim bhai, I'm the oldest geezer over there, I haven't died probably. I have published in so-and-so. I have 25 publications this year. I'm like, oh, brilliant. Good job. Genius. All right. Superb. Okay. Sorry, I'm being facetious. Okay.
No, that's my point is exactly publication and saving the world is different thing, and saving your country first. Which one should we focus on? Should we
it's
be?
Not even this is not even those big lofted goals.
No,
to
big
be
fish.
Able to meet able to meet the needs to solving the right problem you have right there. Now let me example. Let me give you an example. They're building the drains, right? Sewage system, right? Now, must be brilliant contractors and brilliant engineers. I don't see a fucking theodolite there to check the leveling. Maybe they don't need to do that. They're so good. All right. Or even road construction, except the big ones, which are the highways. I don't see anything going on like that. So it must be a brilliant concept. Okay. So what are you talking about? Also your curriculum. You're going to teach them satellite pod and at the same time chain in the same amount of class time. Okay, in survey. How's that going to happen? All right. So it's a mess, and it'll keep being a mess, and it's going to be moved around like that. That's fine. But I know that if I ask a kid to write a paragraph, the pencil will break or the pen will break. Okay. Okay. So sorry. Okay. I just wonder what's happening. Okay. And it's just rote. Okay. I'm dyslexic. I'll be open and saying it, right? But you learn by doing more and more and more and more. And with my mistakes too, I'll fix it and whatever. I'll keep publishing, keep doing things, keep doing whatever. I'm lucky in a position that I am in now. Okay, I can say I'm going to do what is fun for me to do and more appropriate technology. That's my theme. Can you make a curriculum based on appropriate technology? No. But can you make a curriculum which respects appropriate technology? Maybe. Can you make a society which respects your own boys and girls who are staying around to solve the problems? Yes. But our prestige value is what? Oh, I'm a 30-30 young whatever from America. Oh, I'm 30-30 that. Okay, oh, I'm this. But do you ever say, I mean, all right, the local achievements, all right? Do you cherish Sonam Wangchuk in Ladakh, who solved the Ladakh's problems? Okay, I don't know. I mean, maybe. And then I remember the whole debate, like our common known faculty. I'm going to rub him a bit. F.R. Khan, he's crazy about F.R. Khan. Okay, so I remember when I was at the University of Massachusetts, one Bangladeshi graduate student was telling us that in his own graduate circle, he talked about F.R. Khan, right? Like he has designed the Sears Tower. So an American turned around and asked him, what did he do for Bangladesh? What did he design in Bangladesh?
Exactly, bhai.
Okay. Now, I think he did a brilliant work, tubular structures or whatever.
That's different thing. Obviously, he's a genius legend. But again, আমার কথা হচ্ছে এক্স্যাক্টলি ওই পয়েন্টে আমি যখন চিন্তা করি যে আমরা উই আর রানিং ফর সামথিং বাট হোয়াট আমাদের দেশের তো প্রবলেমের আমি এই যে আমাদের ধরেন 4 বছরের কোর্স যাচ্ছে তাই না 4 বছরের কোর্সে we have lots of good faculties, not even in our university, BUET, CHUET, and every other university. কয়টা কেস স্টাডি আমরা পড়ি আমাদের ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচার নিয়ে
I don't know. I'm infrastructure low now, but
at least this is the thing. The answer is quite. I think zero. I think zero because we don't have those. I search about some very rare. I found I think 5 or 4 construction Bangladesh construction problem related paper in journal is all are coming from Kuwait. I think yes, Kuwait. So they have a good program there, construction management. A lot of guys are working on this section. But that's it. আমি বুয়েটেরও পাই নাই আমি আর কিছু আমাদের তো পাই নাই কিন্তু আমি জার্নালে না যাই আমার কথা হচ্ছে গিয়ে ওই যে আছে না যে আমাদের থিসিসও আছে না আমরা যে থিসিস করি আমাদের থিসিস কিন্তু আমরা উই থিঙ্ক আমরা থিসিস করে সায়েন্টিস্ট হয়ে যাব আইনস্টাইন বানায় ফেলি আমাদের স্টুডেন্টদের থিসিসের টাইমে আমরা আইনস্টাইন না বানাই আমরা কেন সিম্পল রিসার্চার বানাই না কেন বেসিক প্রবলেম নিয়ে ভাই
বেসিক প্রবলেম নিয়ে তো আমি কাজ করি তোমার সঙ্গে করলাম না
এই জন্য তো আপনাকে আমি কোশ্চেনটা করতেছি ভাই আমি তো আপনাকে এই জন্য কোশ্চেনটা করতেছি যে আমি
একটা এক্সাম্পল দেখাই আমি একটা এক্সাম্পল দেখাই আমি যেটা করছিলাম ভাত রান্না করার সময় যে লেটেন্ট হিটটা তৈরি হয় সেটা আরেকটা চুলা পট ওটার উপরে দিয়ে পানি গরম করে ফুটানো পানি বাইর করতে হ্যাঁ তো এটা রিতা কলওয়েল মানে ভিডিওটা পাঠাইছিল একজন সেটা দেখছে আমি বুঝ করে পাঠাইছিলাম Rita Colwell said Nadim ingenious and brilliant that was her Rita Colwell saying that okay and then she copied it to the Pro VC at that time and I knew that would be the death of it because the Pro VC would get jealous so then obviously but I don't really care I mean I'm in a position like okay I'm much better than you idiot but but Rita's answer was that one of my colleagues all right not from my department other department you know what his comment was
What?
Nadim bhai, apni to Bua research karen, Bua de research karen. So it's okay. I would rather that guy call me a Bua de research, but Rita Colwell saying Nadim simply brilliant and ingenious. Okay, fine. So the perception and receptions are very different. Okay, so I know the game. Okay, I know it has it progressed. No, it has regressed. Okay, before now they have to bring oxygen from India to Bangladesh before we send it out, right?
Everything is coming from there.
Okay, because again, it's globalization. 1, 2 is okay. I mean, if the answer they will give, oh, আমাদের ইঞ্জিনিয়াররা বা আমাদের ছেলেরা ইংলিশ ভালো বলতে পারে না, আমাদের ছেলেরা এটা ভালো বলতে পারে না. All right, so one is mindset, Another one is maybe it's a problem that reading the fundamentals of push Korina, all right? Maybe it's not respected as much. Okay. I mean, maybe appropriate technology is not the buzzword. Kintu, in this, taking the same thing, all the geniuses who came from here, say from Muhammad Yunus, say Brack, Fazil Sanabe, all these concepts of rural movements came after the 71 war, right? Where a lot of people went to the rural movement and did some very good work. Koshika Bolo, Grameen Bolo, Brack Bolo, they were pioneers, right? But the whole concept was very rural based, right? Right? So that needs to be highlighted. Whether it's respected or not is very different. Maybe Brack University is different. NASA is not a microcosm of what it reflects the higher end of the society which comes in, right? So their aspirations might be slightly different. But again, NASA is very good at venture capitalist work, okay?
Yes.
Boys in Patao, the boys in, I don't know, other ones. So maybe the business school is doing a really cool job. Maybe, like you brought out the questions that all our faculties are from the same mold, right? Because they're hiring from the same mold. I mean, maybe the practice, even in NASA, could be that, okay, start bringing in undergrads from somewhere else, or as our own undergrads will graduate and come back, all right? You know, be open to people coming in with undergrads from somewhere else besides quote unquote one institution, right? Don't stack your recruitment committees so that it's one institution, right? And not, I don't bother. Okay, I'm back on. I guess you're on. So maybe you have to open up that way. All right?
Yes.
Tousif, are you hearing me?
Yes, bhai. Apne?
You're off, dude. Tousif, you're off.
Just a second, bhai.
Okay. So anyways, I can hear you now.
Okay.
You're breaking up a bit.
Yeah, মনে হচ্ছে হয় ঢাকা নয় স্লোভেনিয়া যে কোনো দেশের ইন্টারনেট ভালো না। I think Slovenia internet ভালো না।
So we're advanced in that sense. So that is a kudos,
yes,
right? The 4G or the 5G they've gone to, that is a kudos which happened, right?
Yes.
So, and sometimes I'm wrong too. Most of the times I'm wrong. Okay, I'm gladly be wrong. For example, when Rajiv Gandhi said India missed out on the Industrial Revolution, let us not miss out on the computer revolution. I laughed. I thought this guy's nuts. All right, but hey, look at Bangalore. Look at what they have done.
Yeah.
But do we think about them even in their equation? Do we think about the masses? Right. I mean, in some ways, Bangladesh is more advanced in terms of, say, sanitation coverage, okay, water coverage than India. Even Modi himself admitted to that. Okay. So I don't know. I know, but I think my view is that it has a lot to do with dignity of labor. All right. Do you look down on a craftsman? All right. Will you marry your daughter to a welder who's going to be earning 3 times more than that of an engineer? Because the value of the welder is more, but you won't. So, but if you did value, then I would do my engineering degree and go and become a welder.
Right? I think it's a lot about our social, and the whole concept is weird. The whole concept is weird, and in engineering, we don't think about engineering as a hands-on job. We think engineering is it should be hands-on. And we are thinking about all the mind. That okay, engineer is a mind game as well, but it's a mix of both. That's what it's called engineering. It's not science. Science is different thing. Engineering is different thing. So, looks.
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I was lucky enough to work for Bangladesh Oxygen, and they were following more of the old standards, like the British craftsman standards, right? So we used to join as an engineering cadet, all right? That means underpaid, overworked, and shouted at. So my one of the senior bosses was Mr. Mansoor, and he was a terror, okay? So every day in the evening, he used to check the hands. You have to go and show him the hands. If your nails weren't dirty, he would say you didn't do any work.
True fact.
Okay. So another one was first week I was there. My boss, immediate boss, 1964 mechanical from Buet, Kallu Khan, his name was. All right. Big guy, loved his drinking, one of the best engineers I ever worked for. So he gave me a jute and said, go to the plant, oxygen plant, and clean all the machines. So every day for 10 hours, I have to clean the machines. So after 7 days, I went to him and said, what's this, dude? You know, I'm a graduate from USA, and you're making me clean the machines. So then he said, okay, Nadim, come with me. And he said, okay, what is this? Oh, it's a compressor. How many stages? 5. What's this? Suction side. This delivery side. What's this? Lubrication oil. What's this? I knew everything. He said, that is why I made you wipe down the machines for 7 days. Okay? But it's not valued like that, right? It's not valued. If I do BUA research, okay, they're not going to value it, right? If I'm not doing mathematical research, they think I'm stupid. All right. If I'm not using MATLAB or more sophisticated or Python or whatever, okay, it's beyond me now, you know, I'm too old, but it's not respected. Yet maybe my research work can save lives or has a direct impact. Okay.
Exactly. We are putting our focus on different section. Like we want, yes. So we are almost closing to 1 hour, and so let's wrap it up. My last question: are you hopeful for better change, or you think this is it? It's going to be like this for next 10 years. No, it's not going to change, or another better options. We don't want to change.
At this stage of life,
Yes.
I take refuge of learning from very close. The whole concept of Buddhism came from this part. It's very simple. It's in my mind. So if I have peace here, it's here. So what I think everybody has to do, like the Buddha said, you have to find your own salvation. I can't do it for you. I found a way to my own inner peace. Okay.
Yes.
So I can tell you that I have found my way to inner peace. So my point is I'll do in a very small way what I need to do. And if it can help my Sangam or my society in a very small way, I'm at peace. But for example, if everybody followed Buddhism and went and hid in a corner for 1 week and not communicate with anybody and meditated, COVID crisis would have been over. Okay. Long time ago, when the Spanish flu happened in the hills of the Himalayas, in Bhutan, for example, they tackled that disease by telling everybody to go to the jungle and stay away. Because they said the killing disease was spread by talking. They didn't understand, obviously, the germ theory. So the whole idea was stay away from people. So that could have been a very simple solution, all right? But I'm taking it to an extreme. But, all right, the point is that, like, let's not complicate it. Let's make it simple. And let's make it an avenue that all of us, whatever we learn, apply it in a small way that can we benefit mankind or your neighbor or your neighborhood in a small, small way. And then you can force multiply.
Exactly. Because as an engineer, I can talk about myself, obviously. If I see I am able to solve a tiny problem, I'm happy. It's measurable, right? It's a tangible thing. You can see the effect, and or you can create a theory about, look, if this happens and if this happen and then this happen and after 10 steps, the wall will be saved. probably you'll be dead by then. And there are scientists obviously working on this, saving the world and everything. But I think it will be a tough to change, my opinion, because we don't want to change. There's a big problem. But yeah, hopefully, I'm hopeful at some point we will focus back on our own issues, solving our own problems and developing our own country by our own hands.
Well, it's very easy to do. It's just starting it tomorrow morning. Like Buddha was walking around to find salvation or whatever, or enlightenment. And then he realized it's all in his head. It doesn't have to go anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
do it tomorrow morning.
On a lighter end, you found your salvation on Buddha, and I found my salvation on Buddha.
I found it myself. It's all in the head. So
yeah, kind of. But yes, Buddha's ideas and Buddha's philosophy, right? Same thing happened with me as well. We are talking about different things right now, but I think in this pandemic time, I moved more into Sufism, right? I read a lot about Sufism, and then life becomes so easy. You don't think too much.
Yeah. That's the whole point. And my point is, I'm staying more close to home with the concepts which are right here. Otoshi Dipankar is right, Bikrampur, right?
Yes.
So okay, so why not enlightened? It's not. I don't care what religion or whatever. That's not the issue. The issue is just start, right? Just do it in a small way, and then who cares, right? Hopefully, you'll have a wife or a girlfriend who will appreciate that. If they don't, that's their problem. C'est la vie, all right? Have the confidence to say that as well, all right? So just start, do it in a small way, and have fun. Okay, and if the people don't appreciate it, fine. Have the confidence to say, okay, this is mine, this is me, define me that way. If I can earn a living at it, very good. Okay, so kudos. Okay, Dobradan. All right.
Thank you, Vai. And your last word. What's your experience about my show? Any
Excellent.
Good word, any bad word?
It's a good start.
Yes,
it's a good start. Push it. Let's see what sort of reception you get. Let's boost it and see what people thought or what not, and then have some fun. And then you can bring some good-looking women in. Then you'll get more podcasts that way. All right. So make it a twin. Like bring a Yugoslavian co-host. That might be a good one to start with. All right.
Yeah.
So have fun.
At some point, why not? At some point, why not? Yeah, it's a start. It's a start. There's a lots of mistake, network issues, and everything. But at least I started something, and I hope to continue. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Dobradan.
Thank you, Vai. Thank you, Vai. And I made a ending video as well, Vai. Let me.
Fantastic. Show it.
Yes, let me show this one.
Oh, superb.
Nice.
Superb.
Thank you, Vai. Thank you for
I'll play it around. All right, dude.
Definitely, Vai. Definitely. Have a good day, Vai. Ciao. Bye-bye.